Again, thank you very much, Ms. Zaki, for the very warm welcome, and I also would like to thank CTL for inviting me to share something that is very close to my heart with you. And I would also thank all of you for being here, because your presence shows that you love teaching as much as I do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just a little introduction to myself. My name is Hayati Abdullah, and I'm from the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. Thank you very much, those of you from FKM, for being here. Show your support. Okay, I came from Butterworth, and I left home at the age of 12 and spent 6 years in Tengku Kursia College in Seremban. And when I was in college, something wonderful happened to me. I was inspired to become a teacher, and it was by my English teacher. And so I wanted to become an English teacher. But when I sat for the interview, for the scholarship interview, I was offered mechanical engineering. So I'm going from English, mechanical engineering, two different worlds. And then I was 17 years old. I wanted to go to America, the land of the free. And so I accepted the offer. Now, what I'm about to tell you is that I want to share with you some stories of inspiration. Okay. I wasn't interested in engineering. I was interested in going to America. But during my sophomore and my freshman years, I had the most incredible lecturers, some of the most incredible lecturers teaching me. Some of these lecturers had tremendous industrial or working experience, and they somehow brought this lifetime experience into the classroom. So can you imagine when they were explaining or when they were describing processes to me, they were describing the processes from their experience, and we can see it through their eyes. And in fact, they didn't have any visual aids, no PowerPoint at that time, but we were able to see much more than what was written in a textbook. So these lecturers, they are my inspirational role models. They are the reason why I became an engineer. They inspired me to become an engineer. And when I came back to Malaysia, I was very fortunate because I had a formal training for 1 year. I was in Maktab Perguruan Teknik. They had a program for the Ministry of Education scholarship holders, and I took that program. It was called the Postgraduate Teaching Certificate. So I had a formal training in teaching, and that helped me a lot in my teaching students. Now, what I will be sharing with you this morning, some of the things that I'll be sharing with you this morning are probably things that are seldom associated with teaching. But I believe these are the things that actually enhance my teaching effectiveness, and I would like to share them with you this morning. So, here we go. I'm not good at cooking. I think I give a lecture better than I cook. But anyway, if this can be called my recipe, then this will be my recipe for effective teaching. And basically, I don't have a table of content for my presentation this morning. This is basically my table of content. So my recipe, what are the ingredients? This is what I was telling you about earlier, that these are some of the things that you will not hear in some teaching workshop. These are not associated with teaching most of the time. So the first ingredient is a sprinkle of persona. How you present yourself in class. Okay, that is what I call it as a persona. And then oodles of passion, a lot of passion, a lot of enthusiasm about your work. If you want to get the students engaged, you want to get the students enthusiastic about the material, you yourself have to be enthusiastic. So that is passion to me. And you have to have a high degree of professionalism. And that is my strongest point. My strongest attribute is my professionalism. And of course, if you are into engineering education, you know EAC, I think Professor Afifi can talk to you all day about the Engineering Accreditation Council. they emphasize on the OBE, or outcome-based education approach, and I'm sure some of you are familiar with this. So I blend these three ingredients well with the OBE approach. You can see them later on. And then I strengthen this, or I consolidate this by practicing and by using feedback. So this is basically my recipe. Now, the persona. The persona is how you present yourself, the self you put forth when you deal with your students. It is a combination of attitudes, outlook, and demeanor that communicates the things that matter to you the most. It's not just what you say, it's how you dress. Okay? Choices that we make unrelated to teaching will also influence how our students see us in the classroom. So what they say about your clothes, yeah? Clothes make a man, they say. Your clothes speak before you do. So these are the things that I pay attention to. And the persona that you bring to your students should be consistent with your convictions about your discipline. I teach thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is about energy. And I believe in conserving energy conservation. So when I leave the class, I make sure that the last person switch off the lights, switch off the fans, just to show to my student, this is what I believe in. I believe in energy conservation. And so this is what I say. Your persona should be consistent with your convictions about your discipline, your classroom practices, and the learning outcomes that we set for our students. And I try my best to create a persona that is compassionate, that is challenging, that is caring, and yet demanding. It can even start initially by just this. When I first enter my class, first day in class, I would say, thermodynamics is a very challenging subject. I cannot change that fact. But what I can do is, I will try my best to help you understand thermodynamics. I will make sure that you understand the basic principles of thermodynamics. It is important for you to understand the basic principles of thermodynamics because thermodynamics forms the basis for lots of areas in mechanical engineering. And if you are going to be our future mechanical engineers for the nation, then you better understand thermodynamics. And it is important for me to make sure that you understand. I care that you understand thermodynamics. And if I am willing to help you and you are willing to help yourself, then together we can make thermodynamics an enjoyable and a meaningful course. That's how I start. So I try to create a persona that is compassionate. I understand that it is difficult, but also challenging, yeah? And yet, yeah, it is demanding. That they have to work with me, and together we can do it. Now that is about the persona. And the second ingredient is passion. Now passion has to do with emotion, but there's actually a definition for teaching passion. Okay, it is defined as a positive emotional attachment to the work involved in teaching, by letting students see our own devotion to our intellectual pursuit. And you have to demonstrate enthusiasm if you want to get your students, or if you want to inspire your students to be enthusiastic about your subject. Now, this is something that there is no template for passion. I can't tell you, this is how you should show your passion. There is no template. You have to develop your own awareness of the way that you are passionate about your material. And this is depending upon this is based on your strength, and this is based on your personality. And then to graft that into your teaching persona. So again, our aim is to get students engaged in learning. So as I said,